Let's start doing something more realistic for each row. We're going to pull in the profile pics for the users who triggered the push events. So I referenced the image component here at the top. Let's clean out this temporary code here in the renderRow function. Our rows are going to be a bit more complex now and needs to return a root component. So we create a wrapper view. I want this row to act as a flex box. I use the flex direction rule to tell it to lay out items horizontally. Give it some decent padding, and on the vertical axis we center the items in the row. Flexbox is so cool. I give it a border color and also a width, but only at the bottom. Okay, close that off. We add an image in here. This time we specified source attribute to user URI, because we're not pulling the image from the app bundle. For the URI, we use the URL that we get for the user on the push event from GitHub. Let's set some style now. I give it a height and width of 36 and give it a border radius of half that. Save that up. Nice! We've got round profile pics displaying on the far left and in the vertical center of the row. Thanks Flexbox. Now let's add some text to these rows. We want the labels to be below each other, and our rows are currently set up to lay items out horizontally as a row. So we add a new container element which will stack items from the top to bottom. This means the row is split between the image on the left and this container view on the right, wherein the labels stack top to bottom. Add some padding onto this container view. We don't want the labels to squish into the profile pics. We add one label with a white background and duplicate it a couple of times. In the first label, we bind to the date of the event. In the second label, we bind to the username of the person who pushed. And in the third, we bind to the payload ref, but we replace this first part with an empty string. We want better formatting on those dates, so we install Moment using npm on the command line. And require it in here in the feed component. Now we can wrap the data in Moment and use the FromNow function on that. This gives us a much better label here. The labels aren't done yet. We duplicate this last label here and bind it to the repo name for the push event. Let's also add some inline style to make this part bold by changing the font weight. That's better. Let's do the same for the author.